Hi, I'm Alex from Panel. So, you've got your paneling delivered. Now what? To help you, I'm going to show you how we panel our office wall. This is the blank canvas we're starting with. Today we'll be fitting the rigid style form panel. This one is my favourite, the triangle. Form panel comes in a variety of different sizes and styles. We do the rigid version for your straight walls like this, and then we also do a flexible option for areas where you might want a curve. So what will you need to install your new form panel? Firstly, don't forget safety equipment. You'll need some ear defenders, some glasses, and some gloves when you're handling the panels. We find the best way to install the panels is to both glue and pin them to the wall. For that, you'll need a hammer, some pins, some high-tack adhesive. You'll also need some cork for finishing and a cork gun. Of course, you'll need a pen or a pencil to mark out and a tape measure for measuring up. We like to sand the edges of all our panels when we're installing them, and you may need some packers just for nudging them up off the floor, but if you're putting them on top of skirtings, they're not necessary. You'll then also need something straight edged to cut the panels with, and potentially a jigsaw if you wish to cut smaller angles. You'll also need a long level just to check that everything's level. We're going to go a full 2.4 metres, which ends just below that beam. With this installation, we'll be putting our LED trim across the top just to give it a nice warm glow at the end. It's that easy. Turn your panel over. In this instance, if you use a sharp blade, you probably won't even have to sand anything. As you can see, we have a very clean edge across the entire panel. So what you want is a nice finish like this along the edge, and that can just be corked once you've primed it. One tip I would give is that if you are doing an area like this where you have a bottom section and a top section, make sure that you do the top section after doing the bottom section up to the area where your next panel is going to go. I say that because this area, if it's not quite level, could end up being 2-3 mil out, and then you'll have a gap on that edge. Once you've got your wood panels onto the wall, I like to take a bit of wood filler and go over each of the small pinholes that you have, scrape it off, and then once the wood filler is cured, take a piece of your scrap, wrap sandpaper around it, push it into the wall so it forms the right shape, lightly sand each of the areas where you've filled so they're flush with the panels and smooth, and then you're ready to hoover the panels just to give them a quick clean and start priming. If you do have any gaps along seams or at the top edges or bottom edges, leave those for now and they can be corked once you've primed the panels. Once you've completed those steps, you've sanded your panels, make sure you clean your area before you start priming. That way you just keep any dust away from the panels.
You can now start to prime your paneled wall, ready to be painted and finished. If you have any questions, please contact us at info@panelinc.co.uk.